Hello everybody, welcome to the second week of the Blankenship Coaches Show. I'm your host, Brody Feldman. Alongside me is head football coach Lee Blankenship. Coach, how's it feel to be sitting here 1-0?
Man, great to be back on with you again this week, and we feel good. We're gonna already getting ready to try to be 1-0 again. So
awesome. I know that's your motto, 1-0 every week. It's not 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. It's how do we win today and how do we win this week. So
absolutely.
I love that. I'll try and implement that as much as I can on here. So after a week of quarantine, your whole offensive line quarantine from, what was it, I think Monday until Friday?
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't have them for the whole week to prepare. Some people would say it's the biggest game of the season for some. They dominated. What does that say about that
well,
group?
you know, that first of all, that group is a mature group. It shows it says a ton, man. It shows a ton about their preparation throughout the course of the week. The word of the week this week for us, we do our character leaders word of the week, and it was accountability. And they went out on Saturday and proved that they're young men who are accountable. Even though they weren't working out with the team, they got their conditioning in, they got their film in. You know, as a coaching staff, Coach McDaniel did a great job. We had to be creative in how we're going to prepare them since they're not in person. I know that our teachers and our school district have been facing, and administration been facing the same issue. And Coach McDaniel did such a great job of just meeting with them virtually, doing film online, making sure that they were prepared. And then they just came, and I think they were really hungry on on Saturday night, and played really hard and played well.
Awesome. You just mentioned Saturday night. It's different.
Yeah.
And that's not something that happens here in high school football. So was there anything different about getting the guys ready for a Saturday night or preparing for Saturday night that you guys noticed?
To be honest, I mean, not really, other than just that extra day to prepare. We go about every day and with pretty much the same mindset. We just want to win that day. We want to do everything we can to be the very best version of ourselves on every day that we're allowed to practice. And then we always tell our kids Friday night the results of that will take care of itself on Friday night. So no, I mean, we really didn't approach it any differently. I was just proud of our kids and how they prepared throughout the course of the week.
Awesome. In the first half, you ran the ball 24 times for nearly 200 yards. Obviously, if it's working, you're going to stick with it.
Yep.
You're going to continue to pound the ball. But is there any difference you're looking to make in possibly getting some yards in the air?
Sure, yeah. We would love to throw the ball. At one point several years ago in coaching, we threw for over 500 yards in a game. You know that I really believe in high school football. You have to take your strengths. You have to look at your personnel, the kids that you have, and just try to formulate a game plan that helps us win the football game. I'm way more concerned about winning the football game than throwing for 250 yards or rushing for 300 yards. We're going to do whatever it takes for us to win. And on Friday night it was running the football, and so that's what we did.
Awesome. I know the stat sheet said something like 1 for 4 in the first half passing, but I know there's a couple plays in there that football guys we like to get specific, and there's a couple passes that he just kind of tosses 1 yard, and that wasn't counted, but hey, I mean, he still did his job and still came out victorious.
Listen, that's what a Mustang Bronco football player is, and our quarterback did such a great job of just managing the game all night. Ethan Young, if we need him to go and throw for 400 yards to win a game, he's very capable and he's ready to do that. What he did on Saturday night was everything he needed to do to help his team be successful. It's and one of our core values is love others as much as you love yourself. And he never came over the side one time and said, "Coach, let's throw one right here." And listen, when in the second half when we called a shot down the field and we needed to play, he threw one on the money, made a great play made a great throw to Rylan Poteet, who also executed that really well, and that set us up to score. That put us ahead by 2 touchdowns, and really was a huge play in the game to seal the game for us. So was really proud of Ethan. We honestly, do we anticipate running it however many times we ran it on Friday night? No.
49 times.
Yeah. Do we anticipate running the ball 49 times a game? Not no. But if that's something that we see that'll help us win, then we'll do it every time. If it's throwing it 49 times next week, then that's what we'll do, man. Whatever it takes to put our kids in a position to win the football game.
If the big guys up front are eating like they were on Saturday night, why not just let them keep going to the table, right?
No question about it.
And what felt like a record-breaking first half, how did you feel going into the locker room? 21-14, you were leading. One of those plays might have been a defensive breakdown. They hit you for, I want to believe, a 53-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah.
How did you feel going into the half ahead by 1?
I don't know how I felt. I sure wasn't comfortable. If that's what you're asking, that's our mindset. We try to just. And I guess if you say something enough times, you start believing it, and that's what we try to get instilled in our kids. It's not we really don't look at everything going on around us. We don't look at the scoreboard throughout the course of the game or even at halftime. We're not talking about the score at halftime. On offense, we're talking about this is how we're going to get our next first down. On defense, we're talking about this is how we're going to get a stop. And that's really when all of the fans and the crowd is there and the emotion of the game and there's the scoreboard and the official made a bad call and this happened and that. When we start focusing on those things, we can't control those things. So what we can control is our attitude and effort. That's a core value of ours. I'll yell attitude and effort, and our kids yell back, I control. And we really believe what we say we believe. So what can we control? We can control having a great attitude and playing with perfect effort on each play. So that's really what we talked about. Here's what we're going to come out with. This is how we're going to get a first down on offense. This is how we're going to get a stop on the defensive side. The score takes care of itself when you can get your kids to focus on controlling what they can control.
I know everybody always wants to know, what does the coach do? What does the coach say at halftime? I'm interested in what happens at this time, like this year, COVID. What's it like? I know y'all are in a different locker room than normal over there in Yukon. So what was it like this year when you go into halftime? And I'm guessing you're probably all spread out and you're having to yell to make sure everyone. What was it like? It's
different, man. All of our coaches' voices are a little bit more hoarse this year than they are in a normal year. It's not because we're coaching any harder or more. It's just that the kids are more spread out, so we've got to raise our voices a lot more. My voice is even hoarse right now, but yeah, we're spread out. We're trying to make any adjustments, any corrections, explain to them what the look that we're getting and how we're going to adjust to that and what we feel like is going to be good in the second half. So there's a lot going on. Coach Harper is preparing our specialists. This is what we're going to come out with. We're going to kick off right here. This is what we want to do. This is how we're going to attack them in that phase. Coach Dollar is meeting with the defense. He's got his whiteboard. He's trying to get this is what they're getting. This is what they're having success with. This is how we're going to stop that. Doing a good job, in these areas. And Coach McDaniel had the offense and separated. So there's a lot of kids in there and a lot of moving parts. But our coaching staff, the coaches on our staff, man, I just believe that we have one of the best groups in the country, to be honest with you. And they do such a good job of putting our kids in a position to be successful, and then the adjustments when needed at halftime are always really well done by them. So bragging on my staff, I'm proud of those guys and very appreciative of their hard work and how they prepare our kids.
Awesome. Well, here we're going to take our own halftime break here, and we're going to give a moment for our sponsors to get a chance to get in here and speak to everybody. So we'll be back on the other side of this halftime break here in the second week of Coach's Show.
At Raising Cane's, we're all about quality. We mix cane sauce in our restaurants every day, and our chicken is hand battered and cooked to order. And why do we do all this? Because it makes a difference. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Hey Oklahoma, it's barbecue time, and Swadley's is now serving world-famous steaks. Come on by and see us today or order online at swadleys.com. We're Swadley's world-famous barbecue, where faith and families come together.
All right, welcome back to the second half of Lee Blankenship Coach's Show. I'm going to try and do something that we started seeing in the second half from your players is we started seeing quite a few cramps during the second half on Saturday night. As a head coach, I know that's something you don't want to see. Some head coaches will say that that's a lack of cardio or endurance or whatever. How do you handle that as a head coach when you start seeing guys start to drop from cramps?
Well, I can guarantee you, and I think our players would also back me up on this, that it's not from a lack of cardio and in practice. And we run. That's something that we believe in. I tell our guys all the time, we can't control how big we are. We can't control how fast we are, but we can control our conditioning. It goes back to that attitude and effort. Our conditioning has been really solid. I think that as the game went on, we saw that. On both sides of the ball. We did have some kids that went down. There was one that wasn't a cramp. It looked like a cramp, but I don't know. It could have been my fault in the amount of water I was making those kids drink before the game. The kickoff was moved up an hour, so 6 p.m. Early September. It was warm throughout the course of our pregame warm up, and then we were just pounding the water all day long. I might have. Had them drink too much water, and then they had to go to the bathroom so many times, not to get graphic on the show, and maybe lost some electrolytes that way. But we'll have a better plan on that. That's Coach Blankenship's fault in that area, and we'll make sure we get that corrected next week.
Well, a couple of guys that really stood out on Saturday that seemed to be workhorses on the offensive side of the ball, Dominic Dunn and Devin Martin. Just looking at the stats here, Dominic Dunn, 10 carries for 74 yards, 4 touchdowns. Devin Martin had 26 carries, 158 yards, and the 5th touchdown for the Broncos. Is that something that the Mustang fans can get used to, of seeing those guys really carrying this offense?
Yeah, man, I think so. Dom Dunn, it's not surprising at all to me what he was able to do. Our game plan was really built around him. We kept telling him that in those scrimmages, we're not gonna show some of this stuff in these scrimmages, but just hang with us, man. And we've known for a long time that he's due for a breakout season. And then Devin Martin, absolutely. Devin is a kid that really played a critical role for us a year ago. And now it's his time to step up and be the primary ball carrier for us, and he really answered the bell on Saturday night and did a great job. So most definitely those guys will be staples in our offense moving forward, and you can look to see them with the ball in their hand.
Awesome. And I know we mentioned the offensive line and how they dominated all night. I wanted to say there was a play there in the second half where Devin Martin's he's met at the line of scrimmage. Your big guys get in behind him, and you rumble for another 10, 15 yards. I mean, so not only is Devin Martin making sure he's doing his part, but your offensive line, they're not just giving up after they get a block. I mean, is that something you preach day in and day out?
Attitude and effort, I control. We're going to play to the whistle. And that drive, I remember specifically, it looked like he was going to be stopped for about a 4-yard gain, and then our offensive line just keep pushing. Devin keeps driving his legs. That's also a huge, something that we are seeing this year is a huge thank you or a huge, you got to point to our off-season weight training program. It's been something that's been really important to me and our staff. We believe with the type of kids that we have here at Mustang that we can really become stronger than the majority of our opponents, and we take a lot of pride in that and really focus and put an emphasis on that. And that's something that we'll go back and look at and talk to our young kids who are, our freshmen were in first period weightlifting this morning, and we'll talk about that and how we can give ourselves an advantage and an edge by being the strongest team on the field. So I think that goes back to just how hard we've worked in the off season and getting stronger.
Awesome. I know it's a big rivalry. You always want to bring the trophy home, like we brought 2 years in a row now. Got to give it to UConn. They packed their lunch. They brought it all night long. It wasn't one of those that you get up big and they folded their tents. They came at you all night, kept punching you in the mouth, and you guys were able to handle it. One that I wanted to bring up was their quarterback. I know he started last year a little bit for him. This year, he rushed for over 150 yards. He's a kid that he's going to give some teams some problems, and probably even win the game for the Millers a couple times.
No question. That young man is an exceptional player. He started last year. I think they had 8 starters that started last season who returned this year. So we knew that we were in for a battle on the defensive side. We have a lot of new faces out there on our defense. Our message to our players was, when you play an offense like that, they're going to get some on you. And you, again, as a team, as a defense, you just have to be consistent and you have to play the next play. They're going to get 4 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards. Well, that's a first down. So then they're going to start over 3 yards, 3 yards. You have to be okay with that. As a coaching staff and then as a defense, your kids have to understand they're going to get some first downs on us, but eventually we're going to get a play on them. And now it's 2nd down and 14. Okay, and then that's our opportunity to get off the field. So their quarterback did a phenomenal job. He threw some big shots down the field as well. And again, just really proud of our team, man. They even when things go wrong, it really was a great example of what we preach every day. Just play the next play, attitude and effort, eye control, stay in the fight, and we're gonna be fine.
Awesome. You finished the week 1-0. This week you have a tough Stillwater team coming to town.
Yeah.
This not just the greatest week that you could think of? Fall weather's here. You have the beginning of college football for all these big conferences are starting Saturday. Home opener here in Bronco Stadium Friday night. I mean, how are you guys preparing for opening night and a tough Stillwater team?
Just like we did last week, man. I know it's coach talk, but we're going to try to be the very best version of ourselves today. It's not about Stillwater. It's not about how tough they are. It's not about their record last year. Here at Mustang, we focus on being the best version of us, and that's in the classroom. That's on the football field in practice. That's in our character and leadership, and the things that the way we conduct ourselves outside of football. And I'm proud of our kids, man. I can really say when you factor in all of those factors, we have a great team this year and a great group of young men, and I'm so honored to coach them. We're going to prepare hard, and we'll see what happens on Friday night. I am excited for that fall weather, though. That's for sure.
Absolutely. We want to thank everyone again for tuning in to the second week of the Lee Blankenship Coaches Show. We will be back next week after the Broncos face the Stillwater Pioneers. And as always, Coach, go Broncos.